What's up, everyone? Welcome to Keeping It Real with TNL. This is episode 52. So the promise we made a year ago, New Year's Day, was that we were going to do one podcast a week for all year, and we did it. So
that's a big deal.
It's like a huge deal.
Absolutely.
This one we're going to make you want to tune in for sure, because we're going to talk about a new class that's coming to the gym in January, some things we have going on. A late holiday party that includes Tim's birthday, some details on that, and just also talk about a year in review and shout outs to some people that did some incredible things through their training and commitment at the gym. So as always, I'm here with my favorite, Coach Ty, and Tim back with us for the last episode because he was with us for the first. So without any further ado, let's talk about some cool things. We'll just talk about some of our favorite memories of the year with members that just knocked it out of the park. Go for it.
Well, I was going to say, I want to start out kind of what we just spoke about. I want to shout out to us because number one, I was watching something yesterday that kind of made my day. Alex Hormozy had made a post that a lot of people always say, "Oh, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast," and he said, of those, probably only maybe 40 actually start, and of those, only 1% make it past episode 21.
What?
So, wow, just the fact that we've been able to obviously do what most people can't, it obviously shows we've been doing something right. We have been consistent. And I remember when we had started the podcast, the whole entire goal was for us to obviously blow it up and get big. And so as that has somewhat happened, there's other things that came from this podcast that I didn't think were going to be so huge. Obviously, some of the people that we've got to speak with from across this country, that's a huge deal. Like we're speaking with, you had your guy from Boise,
yep,
we had a girl from down in Georgia, we had Carrie, like all of these individuals from different parts of the country who were on this podcast. We've had realtors from our own gym. We've had other coaches. It's a huge deal, and it's helped me a lot in, number one, learning how to listen to people, learning how to speak, feeling very confident to just dive in at any point, which is a very, very useful skill. So like there's been some very huge benefits from this podcast that I'm kind of happy with as we look back at our year in review.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So that's something that just shows, again, the tenacity, that we see in our members when they accomplish something, and everybody else. It's just like that tenacity to stick with it and to go, okay, I don't have time this week. I don't want to do it, or whatever. You guys just kept coming back and making it happen. And some weeks you'd have to film too, so that you could do it because you're going to be gone or whatever. And so, but it's just that tenacity that makes everything happen. And you guys did a great job with that throughout the year. It's really impressive.
Thank you. Today's literally Christmas Eve. I coached 8:30. I trained a client at 9:30. And now we're doing this, and then we'll get our workout in. Like we literally practice what we preach. And that's one of my favorite things about the podcast is that we kept it real. That was the whole name. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat it. We're not going to be like, oh, no, your feelings, because we're talking about something that you wish wasn't true. Like, we kept it real. People learned a lot. Now we have members that are regular followers. They would literally plug in and do their mobility while listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube. It's been phenomenal.
Absolutely. And even like some of the comments, like we had one of the guys that I always forget her. Is it Aubrey? What's her name from Georgia?
Avery.
Yeah. So one of the clients that she actually spoke to had left a comment on our video, just talking about how everything that Netflix and that they've done has helped them out completely. Like all those things are very huge. Yeah. And it further goes to show lives are being changed. Yeah. Things are being done. And then I was going to say the last thing that I love about this whole entire podcast process is that it has forced us to become better coaches because we now have been doing actually research on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like we actually prep. We actually look into things. Like I've probably learned more about GLP-1s this year than any other thing. And I've obviously learned more about the whole Netflix of what's been going on, some of the new policies when we were into the politics of things. So it's also just promoted growth.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Big deal. So I got a question for you too on that.
Yeah.
Is so what was the hardest thing that happened during the podcast? I know you had some real doozies that hit you in the middle of things on that. So tell everybody what some of the challenges were that you hit that you made it through.
You mean in terms of like just the Wi-Fi crapping out and
yeah, just different things that happened in there.
He's a trooper. We had to pre-film that, and then make a compilation of some of the parts of other ones so that we didn't miss a week. Because it would literally just like crap out the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on with AT&T, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm paying top dollar for like low budget service right now. So that was the most challenging thing because you're like, holy crap, and then everyone's scrambling in literally 2 different states to get 3 people's schedules back together to redo that. But
I remember one of the episodes that had to be either 2 or 3. It was our most recent one, and it was on me. I thought that I had pressed the red button to start, and me and Lori sat here for a good 50 minutes just talking like the podcast was on, and the whole time nothing was taking place. And we came to check, and it was like, are you kidding me? And I remember like I was actually very pissed at that time. I hadn't gotten as calm as I was, but I had gotten like worked up inside, not at her, but at me. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Todd? And then she was like, no, it's okay. Like I remember that moment. She's like, it's okay, let's do it again.
Yeah.
And it was just calming, and we literally just pressed it and acted like nothing ever happened. No one even knew that we had to do a whole entire reshoot and that we had lost 50 minutes. And I was like, that was it. But one of the benefits of that, one thing that nobody ever misses is that countdown anymore.
Yeah.
So it's probably obviously a good thing in the end because it hasn't happened since.
Yeah.
So
we do learn best through our mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
That's it. And so it's just something. But yeah, I know that there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that nobody saw. That was like, oh, as far as staying out for 52 weeks, there was a lot of times you felt like, screw it, not this week.
Yeah,
I've already done it. I'm done. So
I remember times where we would see like your mic on or my mic on, but someone else is off, and we're like, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
Just all these little minor things. But it's like you said, it is that learning process, and we've gotten better since then. So I've been very happy with that.
Yeah. It's that tenacity to pull through that work, those troubling times, and things hit. It's just like, all right, are we gonna step forward, keep going, or are we gonna fold it in for this week?
Yeah.
And that's great.
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
So you're saying that we're going to start talking about some member wins?
Yeah.
I want to start with.
Yeah. Actually, it's so like obscure and not all the gym knows it, but Tim's dragon boat racing personal training clinic. Right. Let's talk about that because you're like, how are you teaching someone to be on a world team in a dry gym with no water?
Yeah, so that was definitely an interesting one. Doug came in and he was looking to make the world dragon boat team. And myself, I've seen a dragon boat in the distance, but I've never been up close to one and all that. And so he comes in and he came in with a list of things that they expected him to do in a test and what the standards were for that test. So that gave us good guidance on where we were going to start training on that. But as we got deeper into it, I recognized with Doug that there were some things where he could really improve his movement skills and stuff like that. So we actually started going back and forth studying him paddling in the boat. He'd bring me videos paddling in the boat, and I could see where his weight transfer to the paddle was not as efficient as it could be or something else on that. I've done enough paddling. I've raced in kayaks a little bit, doing some things in adventure racing. And so they have a great earthquake here.
The shaking of the
So anyway,
Jesus happy with Doug too. You see that?
So anyways, it was something where I had just enough paddling mechanics, not a ton, but I could see, I could look at people who were doing it well and recognize the difference and recognize kind of what was going on. So we started to work on some things and realizing where there was some issues in the mechanics and all that. And it actually ended up when we went to try it for nationals that they didn't actually test a lot of the things that they have on the paper when he was actually making the team. And actually his paddling skills played probably as much or more into it than some of those things. And so by just like kind of unpacking the movement, helping with the movement, that ended up being a really big factor in him improving a lot of things. And we did also go through and hit his markers that he needed to make, so that was something we had to get a 2-minute row into a specific meter range and all that type of thing. So we were hitting the markers and all that, making sure that he was, ready for the test. But he ended up being chosen for every boat. There's men's boats and then there's mixed team boats, and he got chosen for all the mixed team boats as well as all the men's boats. And the coach even made a mistake and put him in one boat twice. And so this is my guy. So but yeah, so that was great. It was a really big win to get there, and then medaled in I think 5 different races at World Championships. So
That's awesome, Tim.
so that's a really big. That was a really big win, and yeah, it's really fun working with him.
People have no idea what really goes on behind the scenes here. Huh?
Yeah,
it's crazy as far as you can tell. Yeah,
you just got someone an opportunity of a lifetime, and they due to your coaching, he's basically stapled himself in history.
So yeah, and he was somebody who was he's working hard. He does all the work, and I have to give him most of the credit. But yeah, it was really fun to see him. You could see the videos from the beginning to the end, see his change in the boat because he was paying attention to different things like weight transfer is so important in sports like that, because you're actually just transferring body weight to the paddle in order to do what you're doing. You're not just dragging a paddle through the water mindlessly. You have to learn how to use your body weight to be efficient. And so something that you could see the change and just the little changes in position that happened over the course of the training, and then of course improving fitness in certain areas. But yeah, he did amazing. He was a great athlete and really fun to work with.
Very, very cool. Yeah, I like that a lot, because obviously it just goes to show, number one, that like Lori said, there's a lot that people don't know that you're involved in and we're involved in, that everyone just thinks that we just kind of coach classes, but you obviously, all of your coaching, didn't you also help when your clients get ready for an Everest base camp?
Yeah, Everest base camp. So yeah, Netta did an amazing job. She went and did she came to me wanting to do Everest base camp, so we did a full year training package on that. And in the interim, she ended up going to Machu Picchu as part of her training for Everest base camp on that, basically. So she got out and did a bunch of trekking there. And again, with that one, it was something where she'd come in a few years earlier, gone through a car accident, and we had some things that we had to work on, some rehab issues to get body back to full function. And so that was something that was really rewarding to see the movement start to improve. And then working through things on the trail, I recognized there's some things where the skills on the trail, as far as being agile and different things, were one of the things that would help a lot, just to be able to move the feet. So we actually did a lot of agility work. We went out on the trail and worked on some areas that were challenging as far as heights and different things like that. And so getting used to being in areas where maybe you have a sloping trail with a drop off on there that were uncomfortable at first, and working through that and getting to the point where by the time she got to Everest, she wasn't thinking about those, and moving through that and able to do a lot of the just go through it and enjoy the experience on that, and did a really great job. So it was always great to see people just succeed on that. And so to see the change and her ability to move, it's one of the things that I think in a lot of ways, when people improve their movement, that is one of the things that improves life the most, as much as strength or endurance or anything. Just be able to move more freely and with more confidence, and to be able to place your feet where you want them to go, and all of that sort of thing makes such a big difference. And she did such an amazing job with that as far as development throughout the year.
Absolutely. So I could somewhat speak to that as just someone who was kind of watching. So it just so happened at the same time that I would work out as when Coach Jim would usually be training her. And so I remember watching her just obviously going through what Tim was teaching her, and you could tell by her movement that she was just almost like somebody who's a little bit offbeat when they dance. And literally watching over time how fluid she looked when she would run, when she would start doing things across the green field that we have inside. It was like it had made me like question my own movement. Like, how did he get someone who I knew was unathletic to begin to move in that type of fashion, like her running, her stature, all the things that Tim still tries to coach me on. And I'm like, and like watching her, it's like, holy cow, like, okay, that's what it looks like when someone actually wants to learn and actually puts in the effort consistently, because you could see a stark change. It was like night and day. I remember telling her, you look amazing right now. It's everything has changed. So very cool there.
It's, I think, one of the things that we oftentimes miss is we get so narrow in our focus that we're chasing strength and endurance, and we forget about movement. And it is one of the key things. It's just like, there's no substitute for movement. And you can be as strong as you want, or you can be be able to go as long as you want. But if you can't move well, it just doesn't translate. And so moving well is where a lot of that translates. And so it's fun to see.
Yeah.
So we'll talk now. This is going to be a very, very great conversation. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about January 1st, where you were with Metfix and where you are now. Let's talk about where you were with your weight, your gains, and everything that's happened over this past. I think if this is the 24th, then we have 7 days left. So we are on day 305 and 358. Yeah. This is day 358.
Yeah.
So from day 1 to day 358, we obviously have been talking about the Mythic stuff, but from you getting on and everything that you've done since then, let's talk about that, because there's been a dramatic change in your role and everything that's
a lot has happened. So health wise, it reignited like the spark in me for everything, because running a gym in the state of California is tedious and exhausting. And you don't do it because you want to be rich. You do it because you're not going to be rich, but you're going to help people. Like, it's exhausting, right? So the switch happened, and then I really put myself in the category of a member of the gym, so that I would give myself the okay to work out like I expect people to do in my gym, right? So I became just another member, took the classes, never missed barbell. If I did, I'd make it up when I got back if I was traveling. I got the #1 spot for sign-ins for the year in Wi-Fi. Like, that's a big deal, because when you own a gym, it's very hard to work out because you're always doing something. Like, just locking bathroom lock broke this morning, and I'm putting pieces together while I'm coaching 20 people in the class. Like, it's crazy, right? So the consistency hit the best it's ever been in my over 13 years of CrossFit. My strength is the best it's been in my 13 plus years of CrossFit. So at 48 and a half, I've PR'd everything, but I think I still have to do back squat. I think it's the last lift PR. Maybe split jerk too, but 185 is a tough one to get past, but especially now that I'm 50 pounds lighter than I was, right? It's different. So that was amazing. Then as far as Metfix goes, we really didn't take off with the seminar until May 30th and 31st at Rogue headquarters in Ohio. Then I went through all the training. But I've been, we've been on calls with Glassman and Emily and the team and different things, and just kind of like, reading the online things they've put together. And we were all thinking about like small group training. We'd been kicking that around at the beginning of the year. So just stuff is kind of like building up. And then the decision was made that Methics Method would run inside CrossFit Standalone as its own affiliate, using the space. And it took months, but when did the website come up? May, I think?
Around.
It was like March.
It was June.
Yeah, it was a long time. But then we got that all done, so that was pretty cool. And then something clicked at the seminar, and it was in nutrition, because I've been healing myself and others for a decade. But the science behind what food does in the body, how and why, and how it affects feeling full, why we can't lose weight, why we can't burn fat, why we're always hungry, ketones versus, glucose for energy. It was like all of a sudden I was a scientist, and I'd never had that before with nutrition, right? And then everything clicked. So from probably July was when you did the seminar at Santa Cruz Metfix Santa Cruz. And then I was on as part of the development team, kind of helping out with that. From that moment on till now, took me from like probably the high 140s down to like 130. So my weight
almost 20 pounds.
got crazy because then I tried carnivore, which then just goes into ketogenic lifestyle anyway. So, I'm metabolically flexible. I can have carbs like I did last night. We did our tradition of gluten-free Chinese food as we do every year. And I had some shrimp and chicken and it's breaded. I never eat like that, but I wasn't starving an hour later. My body goes back into ketosis quickly, working all day, feeling fine. Like these are the changes that are made, right? So that when you make the conscious decision to eat something off what you're used to eating, which is meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, I really don't even do much fruit anymore. Your body's fine. So that was a big thing too. Then professionally, I don't work for, we'll just call it HQ of MetFix, but I was asked to be on a small team of affiliates creating the Spark Nutrition program that has been packaged up and put together. Everything's ready, and every affiliate can have it for free. It's part of being an affiliate. And that was a big deal to weigh in on that. That was really cool. So, and then obviously the people in the background, like there's so many people, but the brightest minds in tech and development and marketing and everything. They package it up. They've created a website. We have an app launching for MetFix in 2020. Like, there's so much happening. So our gym will be doing the Spark Nutrition as well. That'll be twice a year. We'll roll that out because we're going to teach you what you need to know because we don't need you to need us forever to succeed. Like, think of us as your parents, right? We want to give you everything we know, all the training, all the learning, leading by example. Like, go watch episode 1 and then watch now and look at how different. Even Tim, you've lost like what, 10 pounds? Like really going. You've been dialing in on.
Yeah, I've also definitely lost a little bit. I'm probably down 10 pounds from what I was my heaviest there. But yeah, just dialing into a version of stuff that actually I wrote a book about. But yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I think, and then beyond that, there is the Unbreakable Health Conference in Miami, May 30th and 31st. And I've been asked to lead an affiliate panel during that. And I'll get to meet all these masterminds of doctors and nutritionists. And it's great. You can go on brokenscience.org and see the full lineup.
These are people I've been following for decades, some of them, so I'm really excited to.
So I'm just so grateful to have such a close relationship with Emily and Karin and like the whole team. And Glassman, I get to see him once or twice a year, and that's fantastic because he saved my life through CrossFit, and then I was able to join one and make it all different and better. And so a lot has changed. And what's really been amazing is that throughout, continuously running CrossFit and then building another business, we launched a small group training. And a lot of magic happened with that. You can talk to it too because you ran the Stronger program with Nancy, right? Like that was like amazing. And we'll all have something to say about this, but to watch everybody come in with prediabetes, severe insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, high blood pressure, osteoporosis, just to name a few. And then in 13 weeks, their blood work is like, it's like, who took that blood work for you? It's different. They're fixed. Like you went from diabetic to not even pre-diabetic. You're like in the clear, right? Or your liver numbers were giving me heart palpitations. That's not even my liver. And now your number's like 20 from like 85, right? It's
some huge stuff.
It's some huge stuff. Unfortunately, the osteoporosis, doctors make you wait 2 years to retest. So we'll know with one of our clients in that. We'll just keep track of her and she'll come in and do things and what have you. But you're seeing people not go to medications and just like throw in the towel and be like, okay, well, I'm sick. Give me a pill. To like, I'm not taking medication for osteoporosis. I'm not taking diabetes medication. Teach me how to eat. Teach me how to lift. Build my muscle. Even people who are on GLP-1s, please take care of me. I don't want to lose my muscle. Help me through this. Got a program for that coming up, right? So much has happened from really just the end of May till now. It's almost feels like 5 years and 6 months have happened. Incredible things inside the walls. CrossFit San Ramon. And what's in my body, like everything. I can't even tell you. There's something so freeing. I have to say this because I know people struggle with their weight and body image. I mean, you've been really heavy. Sometimes I don't know if it's still the case for you. When you have a hard day or you feel bloated or whatever. I look in the mirror and I'm like 235 pounds again, and I'm like, oh my god, like I I would still struggle with that. But this is the first time where I'm just like, man, I'll go outside the house without makeup and just put on clothes and go. Like I'm not self conscious anymore. Nothing holds me back from working out, going out, like being around people. Like I don't harbor all the shit talking of like 40 years in my head. It just doesn't live there anymore. Like it's gone. So I'm in such a place of peace and harmony within myself and my health. And I don't worry about, oh, what if I get cancer? I'm like, dude, my biggest problem is if I have enough money in the bank to still go all over the world and travel when I'm 90 without assistance, right? Like it's a whole mindset shift. So when you really do take care of your body from the inside first, the outside catches up, the brain catches up. It's just like this. I hope everyone can see that difference that I've been
Yeah, I think it's
showing by example because I don't know. I can only tell you so much and then you can just see it.
yeah. Oh, that's definitely one of the biggest things that you see. It's like the lifestyle changes and everything there that you see someone like Lori go through this. And to me, the most rewarding thing is to see her not concerned about, herself, as far as she's not worried about how she looks or anything there. And so that was something that, for years was always the underlying thing. And to me, that's, as big of a win as losing the weight. It's bigger is that you lost the weight in your head that was the problem. Yeah. And it's like that. And so, yeah, that was like a big win to see. And it's, again, just the lifestyle choices, the food, the exercise, it's something that those are the benefits that people don't see. They don't know how it feels to be on the other side.
Yeah.
I absolutely don't. And so, yeah, I could speak to it too. Just watching Lori. What she's talking about is what we've kind of talked about sporadically on the show. It is the only way to truly create sublime confidence. And that is by being someone who sticks to what they're going to say that they'll do every single day, no matter what comes up. Because once you build that trust with yourself, oh my God, I'm the person who says and does what I say I'm going to do. And that alone begins to take away so much anxiety because you don't have to worry about stuff keeping you up at night. You're not leaving anything on the table anymore. And obviously, we subconsciously know when we're leaving stuff in life on the table, and it eats us up, and it gets expressed in anger, it gets expressed in taking out on others, and it's because we're not happy with the person who we may truly want to be. And the only way to ever overcome is by doing the stuff that you say that you will do. If you say that I'm going to start a plan and I'm going to follow it, that's all the stuff that you did. I'm going to do this Netflix thing every single day. I'm going to show up to barbell every single day. Even when stuff came up, I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And so when you start towing a line that long and you start looking back like, holy cow, there's no one else with me now.
Yeah.
I'm up here on this hill handling it.
Yeah.
And that makes you just have this feeling of being uncommon amongst common people.
Yeah.
Because most people don't have that. They're not going to make it that far. They don't have that. And just with the whole Netflix, I remember when you were just one of the many windows on a Zoom call to being the face of the damn whole entire thing. Like that's a huge thing. And most people may not realize that unless you watched us or watched her from the start. But that's how everything was, and it was just constant. I'm going to keep on doing it. It doesn't matter if we have the buy-in yet. We keep on doing it. It doesn't matter if we have sign-ups yet. Keep on doing it. And then in that comes this sublime confidence that I could do anything I want. Like that's a huge life for me.
And with the confidence, things open up. It's like if you look on the Spark website that just came out, it's our gym with Lori talking to tables. They're looking to us now for, how to do things and what to do because we're, kind of at the tip of the spear with that. And that's a lot.
You just got to some people are like, okay, I'm here. Tell me what to do. And I was like, here's what I'm doing. And I think that's just how it's had to be for me. Like nothing comes easy. Nothing's handed to me. I don't shy away from hard work. I rise to the occasion. And I'll say this too. Is it hard working out 5, 6, 7 days a week and, not bending rules on how you feel about it? Is it hard? Now, what's harder is like giving in to the exhaustion or that moment of laziness or weakness or doubt, and then you sit and wallow in that. That's hard. Today, working out today, yeah, my sleep has been 5-6 hours nights the week of Christmas, and my child's off school, and she loves talking to us at night. You need some water. Have some water.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's just like choose your heart, but you never regret when you choose yourself to do hard things for yourself. And that's like my Christmas wish for people is like get out there and get uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And sweat and take off your shirt. If you have a sports bra, if you're a woman or a dude, and it's okay. And just get in here. Like I don't give a shit when we're working out and it's advanced class and we're just finished the warm up, which is like a 30-minute workout, and then the other workout. I'm like, hey, there's some loose skin under that t-shirt. I don't care because I don't want to throw up because I'm hot right now. Like, get in here and work out, do your thing. It's such a great community too. Like wherever you're at, wherever your gym is, you got good people. Just get in there and be with them. Let them elevate you if you need a little bit of help getting up off the ground. Sometimes we do. Yeah.
And I truly feel that that's what we've both done, but mainly you, obviously, by you taking the stance of coming into this as a member, you've obviously everyone else who's been in the classes watching you and all the new member, everyone's coming up like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that's a huge deal to actually go up to a coach who you're like, no, this person's clearly walking the path.
Yeah.
And now people want your advice,
yeah.
and they want your help because you showed this is what it looks like when it's done right.
Yeah,
big deal.
I think the one thing you're talking about, Ty, about that it's uncommon for people to do that, but I think that for a lot of us, you'll see in yourself this challenge and you're not sure if you can do it. You're just one decision away. You're only one decision away. It's not like the uncommon or special people that have something special in them. The regular people that made a decision that you haven't yet.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's it. You're just one decision away. And so these are the things that, as we make those decisions that maybe are uncomfortable or that we, are like, challenged to make those decisions in some way. Something is stopping us from making that decision. And that's the decision that pays off the most, is the one that's uncomfortable. That's where it pays off.
Yeah.
So.
And then like a shout out to Ty and Tim. All the coaches here are fantastic. We're really quite lucky to have the coaching staff we do. But Ty creates barbell, comes in, names the workouts. They're funny. They're great. They're provocative names. Like you just get in there and do it. And then the support you give, not just, to me all the time, but to everybody, like that's so helpful because you get excited to go be a part of something, right? And then Tim will know, like, if it's a hard morning and late getting asked to school and I miss 8:30 barbell, I come in by myself and I do barbell. And sometimes Tim will be like, oh, she's a little bit sorry. Because, it's like it's more fun in a class. And sometimes he'll be like, she's on 4 hours of sleep. I should work out with her. Keep her good. Like, there's so much, like, support within the coaches for each other and our members that you really shouldn't have an excuse. All you have to do is walk in the door.
Absolutely.
Just literally walk in the door. It's all programmed for you. We're going to walk you through the warm up or maybe do it with you. Like all these different things and just be a part of something bigger than you that you take something from and add something to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So
you've had a lot though too. Can we talk about you for a minute?
We could do just a little bit. We're going to get into the small group.
Okay.
So obviously, one of the biggest things here has been what we're speaking about, which is the small group programs. So yes, we've been talking about the small groups for a very long time at the gym. Honestly, probably I remember since 2024. I remember Tim's plan of like, hey, I want multiple people, and we had been throwing it out, but it wasn't quite landed. It was like either we weren't taking certain steps or what it was, and then obviously Coach Lori had come with the Metfix stuff, and I honestly think one of the biggest things that caused that to kind of jump off was you didn't hesitate. It was like, yeah, I don't know how we're going to pull it off, but let's make a camp. Let's just see.
Yeah.
Let's just throw it out there, and obviously something happened.
Yeah.
And that was huge. There was a big action step of no, let's not try to make the perfect plan. We know we want to do small group. Let's just start with a nice weight loss one.
Yeah.
And there was Bonnie.
Yeah.
And that was a huge deal. Do you want to talk about Lido and some of his results and some of the things that you guys got with that first actual program?
Yeah. So there were 5 out of 6. There was one that there was a husband and wife that were going to do it, and then the husband had travel, so they backed out, and it was at 4. And then Kim came in last minute, so then we were at 5. So 5, we kept it at 6. It's a lot of work. We'll talk about that in a minute too on the back end. But Lido, when we bought CrossFit Drive, because Travis wanted out of the gym in 2014, Lido came over. So we've known Lido. He's great. Does great body work too. And he's like, look, I was going to hire a functional doctor because he wasn't getting anywhere with doctors, which is usually the story. And he's like, but your program does all that because you'll do my blood work, because I'm an unofficial functional doctor, right? So you have a 5 to 6 page intake form. I need your most recent blood work. I want to see your fasting insulin. You're going to have to pay $40 to do it online because Kaiser won't do it. It's okay. And then we sit down and talk about the best way of eating. And it's all going to be low carb, right? But slow carb for super diabetic, glycemic lovers that need to high glycemic foods that need to roll back. Lido went carnivore. So he had tried it before, and his doctor pulled him off of it because it was LDL, which is silly. And then ketogenic, right? Because these are the ways to eat for health and longevity, body composition, and athleticism. So I started doing carnivore before he started programs so I could really understand, which is how I got there. Because again, practice what you preach. Don't just throw shit out there because that TikTok reel was cool, right? So Lido bought in, had so many family tragedies happening outside. He didn't even get in here to work out 3 days a week every week. And he would take the programming and do it at home, or if he was out of town, like at a gym there. I mean, he kept up with it. For the first time in a decade, he wasn't diabetic or pre-diabetic because he would go back and forth in a relationship with pre-diabetes, diabetes, and roll it back. And then he was just yo-yoing constantly. So his A1C is not even close to pre-diabetic anymore. Lost over 30 pounds. He just did the Hawaii half marathon with no pain. And when he started, he was worried about the workouts because his knee hurts so badly. Carnivore's great for my inflamed friends, right? Yeah. And the best non-scale victory is he doesn't have anxiety anymore. He used to have such crippling social anxiety. He was scared to come back to the gym, right? Like that. So, and he talks about it. I have a short YouTube little video that just he and I talking about. It just changed everything for him. And that's just one of 15 stories we could share with you in the last 16 weeks. Yeah. Right? You almost have 1 week. Everybody made great stories.
Yeah. It was just incredible success across the board. It was just a huge validation stamp on everything, dealing with the exercise and nutrition. If you just get it right, everything starts to work.
I mean, the food is everything. So, and then there was a woman in the program with fatty liver disease. Her markers were high, totally normal. You know why? Because you know what drives that? If you're not an alcoholic, it's ultra-processed foods, carbs, sugar, fruit, seed oils. You take that out, literally 90 days later.
Good to go.
Where you're like, are you sure that they drew that blood from here? Because it's so drastically different. And these are the things that I love is that we have Excel sheets and databases and we track everything. Cycle every 4 weeks, body fat, bone density on that, not an actual for osteoporosis. Visceral fat, muscle mass, all the things. And you can watch it change for everyone and all their subjective stuff too.
I think one of the really amazing things that came out of that too is how many of the people came in didn't know that they were having a problem until you came in and saw your blood.
Remember that? I was like, you get dizzy a lot. How you doing with the diabetes? I'm not diabetes. No, you do.
Dude.
Bigly, big time. It's not just we're flirting with it. You're in a deep marriage with it right now. So let's make sense. Yeah. And then I actually, from Julie, she was a member and then moved and then joined a program that lives out, again, about 30 minutes from here. And she just sent a text last week, still keeping up. I've lost 20 pounds, cravings are down, carbs are still out. Like you keep getting a follow up even when they're done with the program.
Yeah.
And for those that need to keep going, they can continue on in the program, right?
Yeah.
January 5th, all 4 programs start, and every 13 weeks you're done, or you continue on the next 13 weeks. We don't give away your spot, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
I think this is a really good thing for people that are, just checking things out. Is that, if you feel like, your health isn't in a place where you feel like you can join an intense, CrossFit program or something like that, these small group programs are places where we're bringing in people who have serious health problems. And in most cases, we're able to reduce to reverse or at least reduce these issues, substantially. And so it's something where, if you don't feel like you're ready, you want to come into a group that's a little bit smaller, more contained, where you're going to get more, hands-on, get the help with the health issues that you need. We have that for you here. And Lori does amazing things for the last 10 years. And, has reversed her own Hashimoto's and everything, all kinds of problems that were there. And so those are things that, that most people don't realize. Most of those are lifestyle oriented there. And, we look at, the medications and things are, basically ways to reduce symptoms while we continue to make those problems worse. And that's just, it's sad. Yeah. But now we've got a way out here. So,
Definitely.
They're willing to pay attention and jump in.
And that's and that's one of the things that I've always said about the small group and how Lori has structured it and kind of what we've kind of followed. Like, I feel like you're honestly getting more out of this group than you probably would your basic kinesiology class at like San Jose State, because I had taken a class and all the knowledge, it's usually just talking. If you viewed this as, hey, this year 2026, I'm going back to school for my health, and this is what you would basically get. You get a teacher or a guide who's obviously on the journey, and you're not only going to learn how to eat, you're going to learn what to eat and how it helps you and why those are the foods that you should eat. But then you also get all your workouts planned and programmed just like you would in a class where basically if you take a class to become an accountant, it's structured to by the end of it, you should be an accountant. Yeah. If you sign up with the intention of losing weight and getting self-confidence and basically healing all your chronic diseases, if you start with us day one, that's what you can expect by the end of the semester. That's how it's tailored. So I just wish people would more view it like that, as opposed to I'm coming here and someone's trying to sell me something, because you obviously don't look that way when you walk into a college class. You come with the mindset, I'm here to learn. And that's the same mindset that you should approach when you're coming to the small group. You're getting college level education on a way that they don't offer at 24-hour fitness. They don't offer at Equinox. Anywhere you go, you will never get this level of training on food and actual movement and fitness. So it's just one of those things. If you're willing to become a student and not somebody looking for, well, I could do it this way better, you are going to have a great shot here. But if you think that your way is going to be the way that gets you your bachelor's and you could run your own university, obviously that's not going to work.
Sure.
So you should just make the choice. I'm going to come here and I'm going to understand that there are people who have knowledge that they're willing to give me to help me. Don't argue it. Don't try to fight it. Learn. Let us show you, because all we want to do is help you.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So I remind people, like, there's health insurance that we all are mandatorily have to carry in the whole country now, or is it just the state? I guess that's a federal tax thing, right? So the whole country, you must be insured. But health insurance doesn't provide health care. Health insurance provides sick care. So if you're sick or you want just a routine blood test, they might or might not run all the markers you want. They'll never be able to tell you how to eat or why, because they don't know, because they're not trained in it. So unless you have an MD who's also a functional doctor and functional nutritionist, you will never learn that from he or she. And so instead of like 2026 being the year of like stock and cryptocurrency investments, make it the year of health investments, because we talked about this. If you don't invest in your health, you're investments for riches later are null and void because you'll be dead or not be well enough to enjoy the fruits of your investments. Like here's the deal.
Who's investing to spend it on their health care later?
Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah, like cancer treatment with third type that I've had because I live in metabolic dysfunction, which is the driver of all cancers and illnesses. So, like, I think about that, and that's the mindset shift because everyone's like, why are small groups more expensive? Well, they're like a fourth of what you pay if you bought all components of it separately. So it's really quite inexpensive. And then I run myself into the ground taking care of all these people at the same time. So my coaches, have to just focus on the training and different things. And like we do all this to help you afford healthcare because healthcare is out of pocket. If you want to be healthy, you got to spend the money on the good food. You've got to at least put the money towards coaches or programs that help you so that you know what to do going forward. Or you're just a slave to like Kaiser copays and out of pocket deductibles and stuff every year because you're constantly sick. And this is how it is. It's going to 24-hour fitness for a cheap membership doesn't make you healthy, fit, or work on longevity. Like you're doing the good girl, bad girl 5 things and like maybe some treadmill. Are they feeding you? They teach you how to eat. They put you on a structured plan. They're personal trainers. Like I hear from people in our programs, they're like, yeah, I was never able to lose scale weight, but they just told me I kept building muscle. And I was like, wait, let me guess, you're eating chicken and rice and like stupid shit that just like keep you from burning fat. So it's sort of like, think about what you want in 2026 for your health and your future. Because especially parents, we just work so hard for our children's futures that a lot of our friends don't invest in their own health. I'm like, don't you want to be a grandparent or watch them graduate college or like you just can't buy health.
The last thing that we'll speak about is some of the progress that I made with some of the clients in the MedFix and then some of my own personal progress. But one of the programs that I had helped out with was the MedFix Strong Her program. We only had one. At the time, the only person who had actually joined the program was a member named Nancy, and from where she was week 1 to where she left at week 13, she had obviously got some amazing results. We seen her start out something that she was very nervous with, was just getting under the bar and doing a back squat. Even though she was a trainer, like most people aren't trained on how to do these things properly. They watch videos on YouTube or they see stuff on TikTok, like Lori says, and they kind of think that that's the holy grail. But obviously, we as CrossFit coaches, something that we take very, very seriously is not only how to move it properly, but then watching so we could spot points of performance errors and address them. So once we had obviously overcame her confidence with her squat, she started out with a basic back squat, I want to say of about like 65 pounds, and we ended up getting up to 155. Now, naturally, that I know that number seems huge. There were some other variables there, as in she wasn't really sure in building up the confidence. But if you see her, she's 125 pounds. And so obviously, as we were going through this process, I was watching her build the confidence, seeing all of her mindset toward a change, and it showed at the end of the back squat. But we also got another amazing result with her deadlift and anything that she was obviously doing fitness wise. Now with the Strong Her program, of course, the emphasis is still on making sure the client is eating right and eating the foods that are going to gain in performance, but we weren't watching weight loss as much because, like I said, her goal was to build strength and confidence. So all of her lift, by far, we've seen across the board, there was almost a 50-pound increase from week 1 to week 4. The only one that didn't have that much of an increase was her shoulder press, which we all know it. That's a tougher lift. And I think that one was maybe about a 20-pound PR, which is still good.
Still huge.
I will still take that. And that's one that I know was a real one because it was like a fight. And every single week, she fought like hell to get that one up. So very, very proud of that. And the other thing that we were happy about, she wanted to basically we were able to spend time and come up with her why. Because when you get into these small group programs, it's important to know why you're going to put yourself through this process for 13 weeks. And yes, weight loss sounds good at the time or getting stronger, but those goals are so vague that those are goals you probably had for the past 5 years. That doesn't mean that's what's going to wake you up when it's 40 outside and then you still have to show up here, or it's been a long day at work. The want to lose weight isn't going to be big enough. And so as I worked with her, her why was she wanted to retire her parents. She wants to be strong for her partner and her family. And it's like now we are tapping into things that make you wake up. Because I remember times where she would want to stop and I'd be like, what would you do right now if it was your mom here and you had to take one more step and you knew that was the one thing that could change it all? And it clicked again where she's like, listen. Yeah. And so when a coach knows why you're in it, it helps the process because it's going to help me get you over some of those hurdles, that those mental ones that we have. And obviously on those days that you want to quit, we're going to be able to pull exactly why you can't quit. Like this is bigger than you now and you know why. And so that's a very huge aspect of what you get with the small group program. I had a second client, Preeti. She was also in the Strong Her program. I think she came, I want to say about week 12 when we were just wrapping up with Nancy. She started week 1. And so it was nice because she was able to be with somebody who was almost like as I said, this is one of the top graduates of this class. So you're a freshman. This is what a senior looks like. Mm-hmm. So it kind of set the tone of, oh my gosh. And so having her there, hearing what all the changes that Nancy had completely got Preeti kind of amped up too. And so it was actually good. And so Preeti is not like Nancy. She was not a prior fitness coach. She is a lab scientist. She is an Indian woman from India, vegetarian, doesn't have any type of fitness experience. So let's talk about her results if that's maybe the place that you may be starting at. She came to here and she had done CrossFit a couple times, like in the past year, just because she had heard about this gym and wanted to try it, but she wasn't as consistent. So that was the first thing that we had spoke about was what's it going to take for you to start to show up every day, no matter how you feel, no matter what is going on at home. And so I won't get into too many details with her, but it's something that she lacked was self-confidence in herself and the ability to stand up for herself. And so obviously I was like, well, this is kind of huge because obviously you're walking around with eggshells around other people. And so that's what we kind of had shifted when I worked with her. It's like, I need you to be strong here with these weights because these weights can't talk back. So you could win. And if you start to develop that confidence here, you're going to see how strong you are here. And that's going to carry over. And that was one of those things where once she started lifting, once she started doing all these workouts and getting that feeling of accomplishment for showing up, it started to show in her normal life where she could, I'm not going to say who, but she could get on the phone with somebody in her family and not get nervous once the person changed their tone and actually stand up and be like, no, that's not how it is. I'm going to be doing this. That's a life change. Yeah. That's confidence. And so now on the lifting side, let's go over some of her lifts. When she started out, her back squat, her 1 rep was 75. And then we got her new 1 rep after 4 weeks was 125. So that was a very good PR. Her deadlift, when she started out, she was, I want to say that we were at about 85, and we were able to get her deadlift up to 135. So huge numbers there as well. And then she also had the same exact shoulder press thing where that was one of her tough little ones. But I want to say that she had about a 10-pound PR there. So it was a lot. Yeah. And then the other thing that was huge, which I'm going to, no, she's going to be mad at me, I'm saying it anyways. I kept telling her, you need to eat protein. You need to protein. So at first it was a compromise where I'll go to Costco and I'll find some shakes. I said, okay, at least that's something more. And then she said, okay, I'm willing to try chicken. and she actually started eating chicken. And once that got into the ballpark, the weight started falling off.
Yeah.
She dropped 10 pounds. Not only that, she started to say, I could actually feel the difference. And then something came up during the holiday. She had over some family, so she was very nervous to obviously cook chicken. So she on almost 3 days back on tofu and all that other stuff. And she showed up and she was like, I feel like crap. She was like, I instantly know what it is. And I was like, that's something that I'm so glad that you took this step. And I was like, I'm honestly almost glad that you couldn't eat it so you could clearly see how you feel when you have it and when you don't.
Yeah.
Because now, me and Lori are just talking out our butt about this protein stuff. That's a game changer.
Just lie to people.
Yeah. It's like, no, I don't. Foster Farms isn't paying us.
Yeah.
I wish, but no.
And so plant protein is not equivalent, unfortunately. You can't get the same thing.
Yeah, you got to eat the animal. I mean,
so that was huge. Yeah, that was a huge win for her. And so, like I said, me and her had a little talk because she was gone. But one of the other things about these small group programs, you build closeness. Now that she was willing to open up, she's about to go out and travel, and it's Christmas time, and we all know what that means. People start to let things go. And because of how real I was with her, I was able to text her. I was like, when you're out traveling, you need to remember right now, nobody has a gun to your head making you eat this food. You know the damage that this causes based on what you've accomplished in these 13 weeks. So every time that you choose to eat like that when you're not with me, that's a personal choice that you don't care about the progress you've made and you don't care about yourself because no one's making you do anything. These are your own choices from here on out. And I was like, if you come back with that same 10 pounds on you, then that's a slap in the face to everybody here.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to now know, can you do this when we're not around? And so this is going to be one of her true tests. And I'll be honest, I don't talk that way to everybody. But because of the bond that we built, I was happy. And she literally had texted me back, I won't let you down.
Oh.
That's what I'm looking for. That's the type of commitment that we want with the clients who come to the small group program.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's such a big win when people start to get the motivation and they start to understand what gets them to that point of what they're motivated to get. When they can see that change. That's such a big win.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and then last thing with me, you guys all remember we started the Winter Ant 100. That is 145-minute workout, 1/2 hour workout where you keep your heart rate above 130 beats per minute, no alcohol, no processed foods, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 pages from a self-development book every single day, and putting $20 aside every single day. That was a program that I started January 2nd, and it was supposed to be something I was only going to do for 100 days. The true test was to see how long it truly takes for something to become an ingrained habit. And that was what I have been trying to find out, because there's all these people who say it takes 66 days, it takes 21 days. And so after 100 days, I knew in that moment if I had stopped, I probably wouldn't start back up. So it was clear it wasn't a habit. As we just came down, I'm on day 350. Yep, 5A. It's still not a habit. And that's what scares me, because I know just like that, I could go right back to being who I was January 1st. And obviously, that thought obviously kills me inside. So now I'm going to see if we go one more year. And so at this current point, I don't recommend this to everybody. This is more of a test of my own human spirit and will to continue on. Nothing more. This isn't about fitness anymore or about trying to get a certain type of result. It's, can I separate myself, as I was saying earlier, from the common way of life and become uncommon amongst uncommon people. And that's what this is about. And so I'm going to try to go 2 years, and you guys obviously see that as we obviously document it like we do everything else. So you will see that change too, of what this looks like living this way for over 700 plus days.
That's amazing. That's a really incredible accomplishment to keep that going day after day after day throughout that. And I think that's something that, it is very few people will do that. And it is kind of, again, as you mentioned, that some types of habits are fragile. Other types of habits are durable.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, the bad habits are the most durable.
Those things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing there. So, we always have to be aware that our habits, even 100 days in or 358 days in, they're still breakable.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And it doesn't take that much to do it, but what you have is you develop the habit of tenacity. And I think that's a more durable habit, is it the tenacity that comes out of it. And that's just that's incredible to stay on one path every day for that long is something that very few people ever accomplish that. So, yeah.
It's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Can't support you through the next year of it too. It's be awesome.
Well, like I said, that's been our year in a wrap. I will say this is probably one of the best years of my life, and for 2025, just for across the gym, across everyone's level of fitness. I will take a quote from the good book: "By their fruits they will be known; by their results they will be known." The ones who are not fake, and this is us. This is how everything that we do here, it's real, and we only want to impart that onto everybody else.
True. All right, so drum roll. You guys think about, was it going to be high rocks, Olympic lifting, or endurance coming into a few hours a week of our programming? And you chose high rocks. So we'll see, even though it's weird because you don't like endurance in the CrossFit class, but
7Ks of running.
That's what I'm saying. No, about 600-meter hill run. No,
I forgot about the hill run.
It's coming. I'm gonna start.
We haven't had that in a minute.
Yep.
That's because of
the
construction next to us has been on and off with the blocking off the Yeah, so
because the
street. Yeah, so they actually told me about that, and I've intentionally kept it out of the programming because I didn't want to have people out in the street too much. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. I actually forgot about the hill mile and 600. So
we'll get out and do something.
I will say this: when you drop a ton of weight and you're light, like nothing's hard anymore. The running, I don't like running, but it's not hard. It's not my favorite. I'm not going to wake up and be like, "Hey,
let's go run."
No, but only down to Starbucks. It's a mile round trip. If I run Starbucks, and I know you're wondering what I'm drinking, it's a Breve Cortado, half and half, 3 shots of blonde espresso. And I know what else you're thinking. No, I'm not going to be blonde ever again because it's a waste of time. I don't have 3 hours every 6 weeks to get this dark hair to stay blonde.
We just lost half our male audience. Sorry. You had your hopes up. It's not coming back.
Sorry about your hopes. You're hella funny. How was your look?
Hey, it looks better brown anyways.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
Only one that matches out. Yeah, I'll say it.
No, I don't know. Actually, it's super sweet. It's Ashley loves that everybody thinks we look so much alike since I've been a brunette for the past 4 years.
Yeah.
But she's super pretty and I'm not. So we really don't look that much alike, but we both have brown hair. Mm-hmm. Hey, a big thank you to Ty and Tim. You guys, there would not be all this stuff happening in the gym. You support the MetFix ideas. I just come in like a bowl in a china closet because I'm a Taurus, so I'm very headstrong. And you guys put up with a lot of my shit and support me the whole way. So I can't thank you. You two are my people, and none of this would be happening without. It's like the trifecta. It's like the triangle on top of the pyramid that just gets everything going, continuing, and to all the coaches that sat through training that I designed for them and created to get them up to speed on MetFix and nutrition. This is what we do to make sure all of you, the audience in person and remotely, where people all over the country get what you deserve, which is the very best and the best in training and nutrition and health. So healthcare in one spot is where it's at, what's going to be. 2026 is going to be off the hook, off the chain, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we're going to keep elevating CrossFit, elevating MetFix, elevating our personal training. We've got a lot of things on the books planned here to keep improving everything. So yeah. I think look forward to an exciting year. We do.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
We'll see you guys next year.
Cheers to 2026. Yeah.